Folks, welcome back to day 2 of E3 2018. We are here live at Indie Heaven and on the Shacknews stage. We have a great show for you guys today. We have a lot of interesting indie games to get into, but let's first talk about my first guest here. Sergey, how are you? Are you enjoying your E3?
Oh, absolutely. This is actually my first E3 and I'm excited to be here.
Really? That's awesome. Great, great. Are you enjoying it? Any cool things that you see?
I've been mostly working on my presentations too, about the Sinking City.
Of course,
yeah.
of course. So speaking of that, let's jump into that. So for folks who don't know, what is your game?
So the Sinking City is actually an open world action investigation game, which is like heavily inspired by Howard Phillips Lovecraft. It takes place in the 1920s United States, so the Roaring Twenties, jazz, prohibition, and all that. Mm-hmm. But on the other side, it's Lovecraft. So the city this game takes place in is the fictional city of Oakmont in the state of Massachusetts, and the city is flooded. Like there is a terrible disaster going on. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, basically.
Right.
And also with the flood came terrible monsters. And our goal as a private detective, we play as a private detective, is to understand what's going on, what lies behind this, like apparently supernatural, flood.
Okay, so when you talk about Lovecraft as a theme, you have to talk about insanity. So how does sanity play in as a factor for your game?
Maybe we should do something about that. This is not the final version of this mechanic. We will have different effects. We will have different impacts. That it will have on gameplay and also on the story itself.
Okay. Now, does your game deal with morality as well in the narrative?
Sure. So actually, in this fictional city of Oakmont, where police is barely functional, government cannot handle the situation, cannot do anything. So people are often left to decide what to do with other people. People with more, amount of influence actually get to make decisions. Mm-hmm. And we, as a character, as a detective, we often also get to make our own decisions about certain people. We get to decide sometimes who leaves or who don't.
Okay.
This is like. In this world, this is a pretty messed up world. So nobody's there to judge you, maybe except for yourself, and maybe you should do something according to your own moral compass.
Okay, that's an interesting way of handling it. So, talking more about the mechanics of the game, how do players actually interact with the world and interact with your narrative?
So, what I really like about this game is that we're actually going a little bit old school. We're not telling people what to do in this game. So some other games, they often give you these objectives, like go talk to this guy, go open this chest, for example, go investigate this place. We never actually do that.
Okay.
We actually never give players, objectives in their diary or markers on the map. Mm-hmm. We never tell them where to go. Instead, we give them information. We give them hints, like evidence, because this is a detective job to find evidence. And based on this evidence that they find, based on the text that they analyze, information, they actually get to decide what to do next, and ultimately, find the best way to progress. And this is the primary foundation of the game.
So you're giving players a lot of freedom in this world that you created. That's really cool. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. So, of course, now I want to jump back and talk about the monsters and monstrosities that players will be seeing. Because, with Lovecraft, a lot of them are indescribable. How did you guys decide how to create these monsters?
So actually, Lovecraft fans should know that we actually draw lines between monsters that we have in the game that are there to put pressure on the player. Mm-hmm. And certain incomprehensible beings.
Right, yes, the old ones.
They're also part of the game, but I'm not telling you how we can interact with them. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's a fair point. I feel like players should be surprised when they first interact with Yogg-Sothoth or something like that. Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can interact with them, but I'm saying they will be present in the game.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair answer. Okay.
Yeah, but with monsters, they are there, as I said, to put pressure on the player and actually make him, let him make certain choices in combat as well. So, for example, we don't give players a lot of ammunition. They will have to manage that. They will have to make sure that every bullet actually counts when they shoot somebody.
Okay.
And because of that, based on the strength of the enemy, maybe it's not the best. Maybe it's not always the best choice, to engage. Maybe it's better to run away. Maybe it's better to sneak past them. We do give the player, tools to defend themselves.
Right.
But we actually want to leave it to them to decide what to do with these tools. We give them traps, for example. We give them certain skills, and we ask them to use them wisely.
Okay. Now, while Lovecraft is very popular, it's not well known for some people. Like I've read Lovecraft before, so if I'm playing your game and I see a Dagon like walking around, I'll be like, oh, that's a fish person, yes. But will players who aren't familiar with Lovecraft start to understand that world, or are they going to be lost and confused?
So the thing is that our narration team actually put a lot of thoughts into designing this world. So we have a pretty good information and lore foundation for basically everything that is going on in the game. If you're like a lore guy, if you want to understand the world better, there will be plenty of information that you can get, not only from evidence, from the descriptions of evidence that you find, but also from other people. By finding even collectibles, they will help you understand the world, Lovecraft themes, Lovecraft motives, and motivations of certain characters better.
Okay, awesome. Now, for folks who want to learn more about your game, where can they go?
Sure, you can actually head to our Facebook page where we post updates pretty regularly. It's The Sinking City Game. You can go to our Twitter account, which is The Sinking City. You can go even to our YouTube account, which is Frogwares. We do post a lot of videos, a lot of behind the scenes videos, and also trailers. We recently published 2 trailers, a teaser trailer and an E3 trailer, which should give the player the idea about the atmosphere and the mood of this game. So if you want to learn more, if you're hungry for more, this is definitely the place to go.
Okay, excellent. I'll definitely be checking that out later. So, again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to switch around. We're going to get more games to you, so stay tuned.